Hey everyone, my name is Ashley, and on my channel I play Call of Duty and review video game research. Today I'm talking about research on the rightward error bias and how it might be influencing performance on first-person shooter games like Call of Duty. A great deal of research suggests that about 90% of the general population exhibit a visual spatial rightward error bias in several day-to-day situations. Today, I'm specifically going to talk about research related to playing video games. A rightward visual error bias means that we tend to make more visual spatial errors on our right-hand side. For example, we bump into things more on our right-hand side. There appears to be some differences among left-handed and right-handed people, but I'm not going to get into that because the research article I'm talking about didn't control for handedness. It is also thought that more experience with a certain task will decrease this bias. Experiments that support this were comparing inexperienced drivers to experienced drivers in real life and in virtual environments. The experienced drivers paid more attention to their visual field, so scanning more of it, and inexperienced drivers tend to focus to the left. Research on video game players has shown an increase in performance on visual spatial tasks compared to non-video game players. And this effect was seen in as little as 15 hours of video game training. I have a video about that if you want to check it out. This study specifically examined 60 Twitch streamers that were playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and if you're not familiar with it, it's an FPS game. The researchers kept track of the number of reactions to enemy assaults and navigational errors, and they determined a player's skill level through the ranking system in the game. The streamers were not aware that they were being included in this study because that may have influenced how they played the game and ultimately messed with the results. In the end, 323 assaults were observed, 113 were non-fatal, and 210 were fatal. 152 of the assaults came from the left side and 171 from the right. 90 of the assaults on the left-hand side were fatal, and 120 of the assaults on the right-hand side were fatal. The only significant finding concerning enemy assaults was that fatal assaults, not non-fatal assaults, occurred more on a player's right-hand side, which supports the visual rightward error bias. A significant result was also shown for navigational errors, so again, players made more errors on their right-hand side. And players were making these errors regardless of their rank. There have also been studies on audio-spatial attention, and it's the opposite of visual spatial. We tend to pay more attention to audio cues coming from our right side. So what can we learn from this research? Well, if you're trying to become better at FPS games or Call of Duty specifically, pay more attention to why and when you are dying. Are you dying more when the assault comes from your right-hand side or from your left? Either way, if you identify what is happening and become more aware, you can start training yourself to pay attention to your entire visual field to see if that improves your gameplay. Also, this is somewhat related, but I personally never use the tracker perk because I will become too focused on the visual footsteps and miss other visual cues. That likely isn't the case for everyone. Also, now that I'm thinking about perks, the paranoia perk may be useful for people that find they are dying from attacks coming from one side compared to the other, because you're getting that extra visual cue as to where the assault is coming from. I hope you learned something from this video. If you like this type of content, let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, hit the subscribe and notification buttons. If you want, you can check out the full research article in the description below, and thanks for watching.